can see, I have not taken down my banners. I haven't had the heart to. Yeah, yeah, it's been hard. Um, is it? I'm in a, yeah, I mean, I'm in a chair too, so, um, hell yeah, I'm in a chair with my couch behind me because I felt like it'd be weird for me to be that far back. But so I was like, I'll just scooch on up and grab a little chair. But woohoo, we're live. Yeah, man. Um, I still feel the same. I don't think we need to talk about the Super Bowl. We all know what happened. Uh, no. Oh, I think everyone heard. Trust me, everybody knows. I'm gonna use I'm gonna use this Sydney Brown card right here to scoop my Keef as just as I would have used the Chiefs card. I think I got one Chiefs player in here. I bought a little pack the other day. Actually, I don't think I got a single Chiefs player. Uh, yeah, no, I didn't get a single Chiefs player. Uh, Trading cards are a scam. Yeah, yeah. I didn't get any good cards in this either way. So, but this is his rookie card. I don't know. So good for him. I got a couple. Actually, I think I got two Sydney Browns. Oh yeah, we can go over the Super Bowl. I mean, I'm sure anybody watching. Yeah, what is this saying? Warning. I'm getting a warning. What's this? Stream's current bitrate is lower than the recommended bitrate. Oh, okay. Let me use the recommended bitrate. Um, I don't know how to do that. But anyways, go on. I'll get through this and then figure it out. Yeah. Hmm. No, Joe Tooney's. Yeah, he was inside, and he was inside, and then now he moved out to the outside, but he's not gonna be on the outside next next year for sure. Like, there's no shot that he's staying on guard, or I mean on tackle. He's moving back to guard. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, I think I mean they better, I guess. Like that's kind of I just don't know how you win it after a performance like that. I mean, the Eagles didn't blitz once and they got 6 sacks. He was under pressure before they put in their second string. I mean, obviously, 18-point game. It wasn't that close. It wasn't that close the entire game. It just wasn't. It was a complete blowout. The 18 points, 11 of them were garbage time. Uh, it was just garbage time points. To make it seem like it was a little bit closer. That was by the time that the only time we had a good offense. Everyone's like, "Oh, well, at least the offense looked good." The Eagles' second stringers were in. Like what? Like yeah, cool. That looked cool against it's like yeah, this is a preseason game. Like awesome. Um, I don't know. Yeah, if they don't go O line at least in the first two rounds, then I don't know. I don't know what they're doing. I think the cap is going up, so there's no reason not to address like wide receiver in the free agency if we really want to. I don't think that they need to worry too much, in my opinion. But I can see like if they want to, like I've seen stuff about DK Metcalf wanting to get out of Seattle. Like if the Chiefs could land DK Metcalf and our top three was if Kelsey retires, which I think he will, but if our top three, even if he doesn't, I don't think he's a top three receiver for our. He's not. I think it's. I don't know though. I don't know the man. It seems like watching him play that he's lost a step. I mean, he's 35 now. I think he's my age. Like I can hardly get out of bed in the morning. Like the dude's out there playing football. God bless him, but like I think he's lost a step. Like we've talked about it, it's his worst statistical season. But yeah, if we had D Hop, Rasheed Rice, Xavier Worthy, DK Metcalf as our top three, offense is fine. Really, or that's part of offense is fine. Do really need to focus on the line. I think the defense is going to be fine. Like I said, Cap's going up a shit ton too. So I mean, yeah, I think no, yeah, I think he stays this year. And I think he's on an option. He doesn't have an option year because he's like a seventh round pick. So I think this is his last. I think this next year we either have this year and one more, or it's just this year. I can't remember. I think he still has. I think he's only going into his third year, but it might be his fourth year. Yeah. But yeah, yeah. That's what I'm thinking. Let me see. I'm checking. Pacheco. He's drafted in 22, so. Hmm. Yeah, then you get Mahomes though, and Mahomes coming in and doing what he does, it makes sense that they shifted away from that in the past, like since 2017. Obviously, like these last 2 or 3 years have been different, but like when he came on in 2018, like why would you worry about running backs when he's just bombing, throwing bombs to Tyreek Hill, and so you're just trying to do whatever you can to scheme. You want good guys to be able to scheme. And I don't know. Hopefully, another thing. I hope we just get a better blocking tight end. If Kelsey does retire, I'm fine with the tight end just going back to like we don't need. If Noah Gray can do what Kelsey does, like that's fine. But I just it's really about football intelligence. I don't think it needs to be a wider or it needs to be a tight end necessarily. I think Kelsey just got away with it because of the position. People are less likely to like defenses aren't going to key in. Everyone's like, oh, he's a zone eater and stuff. And it's just because of his position, he knows he's not lining up next to someone every time. You know what I mean? Like he's not lining up across from someone. He's not always going to have a one-on-one. Even in zone, like obviously cornerbacks are starting up next to somebody. Like he can tell. Like he's like, oh, it's zone. There's no one going to be in the middle of the field because you're not going to get there in time. Like, and no one's even looking at me right now. So I don't know. I like Kelsey. I'd be fine if he retires. I'd be fine if he comes back. He comes back. He comes back. But I, shit. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, yeah, it can't end on a loss. Exactly. Yeah, then you get that win. Yeah, and it's like, well, shit, that felt good. Now what next? I don't think the Eagles are going anywhere yet. I think the Eagles got a good like, you know, 1 or 2 years at least. Uh, yes, probably. Because I have to if it starts with the cheat like I wouldn't. I guess I wouldn't be mad because then you would see you know what it's like, to be like, I think modern NFL fans are a little bit spoiled in terms of social media, myself included, because of the Patriots when we were growing up. And like, it was only everyone pretty much, you hated the Patriots or the Raiders, right? And sometimes the Cowboys, but the Cowboys are like, the Cowboys have always been a joke hate, it's not like a visceral hate. Like, I believed the Tom Brady and the Patriots did and had to, deal with it. But it's like, man, if you three-peat, then you'll see. I mean, I think Eagles fans are the best fans to deal with it because they obviously don't give a shit, and everyone still hates them already. But like, you know, everyone was like, "Yeah, fuck yeah, Eagles," after they beat the Chiefs. But like, if you win again next year, it's not going to be like, it's going to be like, "Fucking Eagles really three times out of the last 5 years." Like you went to the Super Bowl. Like, once you go 3 out of 5, that it's like they hate you. That's really what it is. I think obviously you can go 2 out of 5 and be fine, but if you make it 3 out of 5, like if the Eagles go back next year, people aren't gonna like them. Yeah. Well, you're there. The Eagles are at that point now. Like the Eagles are at the point where any more success, people hate them. Any less success, then it's just like, yeah, damn, you did a good job. You won one, and you let the rest of us like have a chance again next year. Like they'd be fine. Shut up. No, you wouldn't. You don't get to. No, it's not. You don't ever get tired of it. It's like, yeah, there's Super Bowl fatigue in the sense of like, I'm sure for like, like, oh man, like here we are again, like I don't know. It's still not, I don't know, like three-peating, especially with there's a goal, like three-peating being the goal, like you're not going to get tired of it. It's like, I don't know. I don't think that you would. I never got tired of it. I mean, it's weird to. I can understand it from a team's perspective, like in terms of Super Bowl fatigue. Like sustained success on teams is more physically demanding. Like they've had to play a whole year, an extra season almost over the last 3 years. So or since 2018, really, we've made it at least played 2 games in the playoffs every year. JG Wentworth, 877 cash now. Oh, it's showing up as it's going through. Okay, let me check mine. Let me check mine. Cause yeah, I'm seeing it. My mic is showing, and it's showing that it's, yeah, my mic is on the scene, and it is showing is connecting. So that's weird that it's not. Do you mean just you? I'm getting it. Um, shit. How to get Discord audio? I think I did. I think we talked about this last time too. Audio output capture to selector. Duh. Okay, that makes sense. Of course it's that. So delete this. Add audio output capture. Discord.
Pain in your voice. You can see the pain in your face whenever I said I had to mute you. I'm so sorry, Quinn. I'm so sorry I did that to you. You're my friend.
Um. Oh fuck.
Jack, Jack. What? Pain in your voice.
Okay, try
Oh,
now.
pain in your face. Okay, okay. That one got caught. All right. All right. Where were we? Man, that was like 5 minutes of me being like, Eagles, not bad. We might be not great next year, but we're young. We'll be okay. And then the Chiefs being, us just being like, man, the Chiefs need help.
I figured it out. I'm tech savvy, man.
You
Just
know,
let me
you know,
smoke some more, and then I'll, we'll get it.
Yeah.
We'll get it going.
See, I think that sort of thing adds authenticity to the stream, so people know that it's actually us, you know, being really bad at this and not some, I don't know, producer
Yeah, it's
getting
like
told.
yeah, like you said, it endears us to them.
It does. It does.
Yeah.
Now, where were we? Oh, we were talking about just the Chiefs and what they need. I think that they're going to go offensive line, but I would bet anything they go edge rusher in the draft just because, there might not be any good offensive linemen that late. Um,
You're
I
not
did
evil,
write
Josh.
I did write some off-season notes about things that are currently going
Well,
on in the
did you
NFL.
want to talk more? Did you want to talk about the Super Bowl since we like what were your thoughts on the Super Bowl? We'll give you your
Oh, I thought we did fine. I mean, I thought we did really, obviously, we did extremely well. But I also don't think that we were playing against the best iteration of the Chiefs. I don't know if this team, the 2024 team, beats the 2022 Chiefs. If like we went back to that Super Bowl, but we had our current roster, I don't know if we win that game. Um, just because at the time Mahomes was at full strength. They had full unit, they had everybody. The only person that they didn't have was I think that was the first year without Tyreek, right?
yeah. No. So that's the first
Second
year.
year. Yeah, it was either first or second.
Yeah. No, it was
Because
the first,
Tony
yeah,
was
because
really
Tyreek
big
left and
for
then we won
that.
the Super Bowl, right? Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, I just don't know if I don't know. I just feel like with this Eagle Super Bowl win, if we didn't have the one in 2017, it would be a lot different. But since we won that one just a few years ago, it doesn't. It's just like, all right, cool, we got it. We really needed that. Good for the franchise, but it just doesn't have the same hype as the 2017 was. Nobody ate poop.
Hmm.
It's a big thing.
Yeah,
It's a
they
big
did still
thing.
riot and destroy some stuff though.
It destroyed some things, but I believe the damages were lower. You know, it just wasn't the same.
Yeah.
Um, and I just think that it was less about oh the Eagles won one as much as it was just like stop the Chiefs,
That
and
is
it kind of
true.
took away from the victory.
That
You
is
know,
true. I think that especially from like the celebrating standpoint, people focused more on the fact that it wasn't about just like the Eagles winning and being a good team. It was just like, oh, thank God, like someone beat the Chiefs, like, and I'm telling you, man, like, yeah, it's crazy. Like I remember after the first Chiefs win, how it was like just like bunch of like mic'd up audio of like everyone. And granted, it was a little bit better of a storyline that like the San Francisco, that whole game, the first one, and like I just remember all the highlights and stuff and everyone talking about it, and it's just all like fucking. Here's Mahomes hyping up everyone on the sideline. Here's like them talking about like we're not out of it. Here's like all these like really cool moments. Here's this, here's that. But like with this win, I look, and that's what I'm talking about, like the hate. It's just like it's crazy to me that like you don't see a lot of stuff. Like I saw some stuff of like Saquon with his daughter and stuff like that. But like the top comment of literally the top comment of like the Saquon is with his daughter, and like him like holding is like this is the best day to be a hater ever.
yeah.
And that was like the top comment on this. It is Reddit, whatever. But like still like I saw more stuff about like just the Chiefs and how upset like here's pictures of like Taylor getting like here's video of Taylor getting booed, like here's stuff about like oh yeah fuck Taylor Swift, here's Travis Kelsey looking angry, here's like Patrick Mahomes looking sad, here's like just all this stuff, that was just like it's like nobody's like like you said it felt more like people were celebrating the Chiefs losing than celebrating the Eagles winning.
Mhm.
And I think that's just because it's Philly. I did see a lot of people that were like, "Does anybody deserve it less than Philly fans?"
I mean,
So
I think I don't know if the Browns fans deserve it anymore.
oh, true,
I,
yeah, true. Browns, if there's actual Browns fans left, like now, I think Browns fans can start coming back, but like it's hard because, you know, I don't know any of them, and so how do you know they weren't fans during,
yeah,
of Deshaun Watson?
dude, 2020 was the last year it was good to be a Browns fan.
Yeah.
That was whenever
Uh,
Baker was going full hype. OBJ wasn't on the team yet. Uh, yeah, it was that poor. That was I was
Yeah,
really, really psyched for the Browns back then. Whenever
yeah,
they beat the Steelers in the playoffs, was really like, man, finally, good for them.
yeah,
Shit
yep.
that bad. Um,
Josh said they
I
make
don't
memes of
know.
Mahomes and Drake crying together. Yeah,
Um, as far as the future for the Eagles, as far as like what they're going to need this offseason, it really is just going to depend on who we do and don't re-sign. I really hope we resign Mekhi Becton and Zach Bond. Our linebacker did really, really well this year. Went from an absolute nobody special teamer to an all pro at his position. And Mekhi Becton, former first round pick, didn't do that great in New York, comes to Philly, wins a Super Bowl. We need as much offensive line help as we can get. That tush push, it's a limited edition, limited time offer. It ain't gonna be around forever, but we gotta keep guys in there who can pull it off while it's still around.
oh yeah, y'all have
Um,
like it's crazy because you guys have. I mean, it's like the biggest O line that's like it isn't like I don't know if it broke records or not for like biggest O line, but like the I mean both the D line and the O line are both massive. I mean,
yeah,
yeah.
Jordan Davis is huge, man.
And
They only got
Mailata too. Mailata's a big dude.
oh yeah, he a rugby boy.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, I
our
want to get one
defensive
of them.
line.
I want to get one of them. Like we tried to get Sumaitea. I think that
mm,
he's cousins with. There are actually, I think a lot of them. Like if they're from that, and this isn't racist to say.
I was about to say, I have a feeling I know where you're going. It's a
No,
little
but
racist.
it's
Be
true. Like
careful.
like a lot of, especially like it's great with the Pacific Islanders. Like they're they're usually a lot of them
They're
are
all
like
related. They all know each other.
yeah, like they all know each other. I don't think that when they say cousin, I think they mean I don't know if they mean it in the looser sense or not, but I can't I was looking up somebody um it was an NFL player or somebody that was like a athlete and they was talking about how oh well, yeah they're also cousins with this person who's like on the Lions or something. I think it was uh what's his name on the line Tuafunga.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, I think like Tuafunga has a cousin that plays somewhere or something.
there's also there's a safety out in 49ers
Yeah,
who's
I
also
think
really
like
tall.
Pacific Islanders when they're that big and athletic, they're like
They're going to be attending the same camps.
yeah,
You
exactly, yeah.
know, they're gonna know each other. They're gonna
And they're
meet
all
and
that big though, man. It's crazy. I would to be if I was that big, I'd rule the world. It's from a Game of
I
Thrones, but
wonder why they haven't given it a shot.
no, it's just I think it's
Um,
Game of Thrones. It was like some I think it was somebody was talking to the
uh,
Hound.
I've
I
never
think
seen
it
that
is.
movie.
Oh, haha.
I hear it doesn't end well. Um, but what was I saying? Oh, so I don't know what we're going to be looking for. Our safeties, our defense is pretty much shored up. Our safeties, cornerbacks were an issue last year, not a problem this year. And our front seven is legit. Did you know that Nolan Smith tore his triceps in the Super Bowl and still played through it? That's our starting edge rusher. He's part of the Georgia Bulldogs,
And
national champion.
Brandon Graham was injured, did pretty good too. I thought he was
Yeah,
gonna get re-injured, but I think he's done, isn't he?
yeah, I think this might be it.
I think didn't
All
he
of the
announce
people
retirement or no?
No, not yet. Him and Darius Slay both are we're kind of like these guys are gonna retire, right? But the deadline's not until like
Slay
three,
won't
4 weeks.
retire. I think he'd wait until they didn't win. Like you said, but I think Brandon Graham, like with how beat up he's been, like I think he'll probably call it and like
Well, I
end on
think
a high note. But I feel like Slay's that type of person that's just like I'm gonna stay until like I don't know. Like if you're
I
on
think
a
we're
winning team,
returning,
how
man.
do you not think that you can't run it back next year? You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
football is like crazy, and you could lose. You know, obviously, in the you're making the playoff. Anything can happen. Saquon, if he gets injured, or like Jalen Hurts gets injured if he gets concussed again and is like out for a lot of time.
I was
Um,
worried about Jalen Hurts because Kenny Pickett's fine, but that Tanner McKee kid that I've been
yeah,
excited to watch did really well this year. Whenever he played, it was the last game of the season. I forgot who he played, but he played after Kenny Pickett went down, and he didn't throw any interceptions. Everything he threw went for positive yardage. He had an incredible game. I'm fine if Jalen Hurts goes down. We just can't tush push.
yeah.
That's fine.
I don't know, man. The way Jalen Hurts was throwing it in the playoffs, like that's hard to say. That you know, I
Well,
like the Chief.
but
Obviously, the Chiefs. Every defense isn't gonna be able to do to Saquon what the Chiefs did because other defenses have tried. But I think if anything out of the Super Bowl shows anything for me, it's that Saquon could be shut down. It's just you have to have a good enough secondary to stop Jalen, because Jalen, I think over the year, the way Jalen Hurts looked, I think the Chiefs had a decent game plan and what they wanted to do,
Mhm.
where they're just like, hey, obviously we're going to shut down Saquon and let Jalen Hurts try and beat us, and he did,
He did.
and he looked good doing it. I mean, he didn't have a I don't I can't remember any like awful throws. I mean, like, there's a couple plays that uh
I
obviously
just
like
don't think that anything other than the tush push, other than his running ability, I don't think there's anything that he does that our backups couldn't also do.
yeah, I think that's the
Um,
thing with with some, I don't know, with how he was throwing it. I don't think Kenny Pickett could throw it like he was throwing it in the playoffs at least. Or I don't think Kenny Pickett does wins that game against the Chiefs. There's no shot.
yeah,
No shot Kenny
yeah,
Pickett wins that game.
that's true. I
I'm
think
sorry. There's
technically,
no way. There's no way anybody but Jalen Hurts wins that game. Jalen Hurts, Lamar Jackson. Obviously, I think Josh Allen could have won that game. Um, yeah.
uh, comment says, never seen Mahomes sacked so many times. That O line is mean AF.
Yeah.
Don't worry, they'll be fixing that this offseason. I'm expecting them to. I don't know if they're going to have to do trades or free agency or something, but there's going to be new offensive linemen in Kansas City next
I
season.
think I don't know what
I do.
Taylor's. Oh, I was gonna say I don't know what Taylor's contract looks like off the top of my head. I want to say he has 1 year left. Um,
It was
obviously,
4 years. I think he has 2 years left.
I think he only has a year. I think the last year's an option year or void year or whatever. Like I don't. I think he only has one more year left, like guaranteed money maybe.
I mean, he's
Um,
a real life guy. He's a
I think
workout warrior. We're going to keep him around.
I think that I was seeing that if we cut him, like it's not too much dead cap, but I don't think they will just because I think it's over like 20 million. So I don't think they'll cut him. But like, man, yeah, if we cut both of our I mean, yeah, that's the crazy thing is like we have, in my opinion, a future Hall of Famer center, Creed Humphrey. Like, I mean, he's if he can just do what he's doing. Although I don't know. I haven't gone back and watched. My dad was saying too, and I noticed a couple times where Creed Humphrey just lost. Like no one, there's just no one there for him to block. You know,
Hmm.
and it's just like that's something that's either him not doing something right or something's not going right with the line. Like, but there's multiple times where he was and it was when Mahomes was getting pressured and Creed Humphrey's just like that, just like looking for someone to block up there. It's just like, well, but I haven't gone back and watched it
One of
yet.
our
I
guys are
will,
already behind him.
but yeah,
We just went to the outside and we just went around him.
yeah, but yeah, and that's yeah. We have Tooney, who is a should be a Hall of Fame guard, and then yeah, Creed Humphrey and um, Tooney, Humphrey, and Trey Smith. Yeah, but Tooney, yeah, sliding out obviously. But yeah, if I don't know, I don't think Kenny Pickett wins that game, so I think Jalen Hurts is needed. And
I do think that one big critical element that hasn't been discussed about the Eagles offseason, what's going into next year, is we just lost all of our coordinators. I think we still have our defense. I think we still have Vic Fangio,
yeah.
but I I know Kellen Moore is gone. He is going to be the Saints head coach, and he took our quarterback coordinator with him as his offensive coordinator, and then they just hired Brandon Staley out of the Chargers for the defensive spot. So the
Oh,
Saints are getting their act together because something's broken down there, and that needs to get addressed. Everybody's
yeah.
getting hurt, and they can't win games. But
Mm.
that will be, I don't know. I think the Saints might be a little threatening next year. You know who else I think might be threatening, Quentin? Um, is the Raiders. I'm going to be
Oh,
honest with you. Yeah,
yeah.
hot take. I think what's about to happen in the AFC West in the next 2 or 3 years is the Chiefs are eventually going to start kind of getting back to normal down there at the bottom,
That's
and
that's not normal. We're
uh,
on new normal right now. Okay, we're in our
I
normal.
don't know about that. But they're going to start settling in, getting 8 and 9 seasons, 7 and 10, that sort of thing. And but I think what's going to happen realistically is I think there might be one or two down years for the Chiefs coming up, and there's going to be a massive power vacuum in the AFC West as a result. Three teams from the AFC West made the playoffs last year. It's possible that they all could do it. Um, but the Raiders, I mean, they have Tom Brady in the office now. They have Pete Carroll as their head coach.
Yeah.
They're going to be looking to get a quarterback or something, you know. I don't know if they have like the team to just like plug in a quarter like that's the one missing piece,
Hmm.
but I do think that they're gearing up in the same way that the Broncos did whenever they first hired like Sean Payton
Yeah. I
a couple seasons
I
ago.
do agree with you that I think in the next like 4 or 5 years, I could see the Chiefs not winning the division. I don't see us ever being at the bottom of the division. I think that's a little bit I don't yeah, I just yeah, I don't see that happening. But I can see like, I can see definitely the Raiders or the Broncos. I mean, I just don't it's hard to see the Chargers ever, I can't ever picture it because I know even when the Chargers have the number one defense and the number one offense in the NFL, they still miss the playoffs.
They're gonna screw it up somehow.
Yeah, so it's like, and they do whatever they can just to not succeed, or to
Mhm.
succeed just enough. And I don't know, yeah. So I can see, they're all. I don't think they're ever gonna, be the If anything, I'd say right now the Broncos. It's the Raiders. I think yeah, in a year or two, I think it's kind of going to be the same thing where Pete Carroll's going to come in this year and probably struggle still a little bit. They might go 9-8, but I doubt it.
You said they have a winning record.
No, I think they go 8-9 if anything. If I'm picking under or over, if taking the under 500 probably. I just don't see them. I don't see him coming in, them like drafting a rookie quarterback or drafting anybody really that just immediately like makes them like a contender to where they're gonna take more than 1 or 2 games away from the division. And then our divisions that like I said, we play the NFC East next year. So that's gonna be an
Oh, well, that's right. The Eagles are playing in
yeah.
Arrowhead, aren't they?
Yep. So that's gonna
Well, we
be
got to figure
that's
something
a
out.
hard 3 games. I know Cowboys, whatever, like they're still always like contenders during the regular season, and obviously the uh, Eagles and Commanders are going to be 2 losses, I think, for the Raiders. That'd be pretty crazy if the Raiders came in with honestly even Aiden McConnell and
Yeah,
like just because Pete Carroll all of a sudden's the coach that they're going to come in and be able to take that game. Like I don't see it happening.
yeah.
So I mean, there's a lot of losses. Like if they take 2 games out of the 6 from the division, that's 4 plus probably another 3. That's already 7 losses right there from just NFC East. And I think our AFC is Buffalo's division. I think this year, so
Mhm.
it's a little bit easier other than Buffalo. But I'm not. I might be wrong about that though. Let me see.
I do think that there might be some teams that'll surprise us next year. As always, it's tradition. This year it was the Vikings. I wrote them off. But I do think that the AFC is going to have a few teams that are going to be really, really vying. Like I think McDaniels down there in Miami is already on the hot seat, and he's going to be absolutely desperate to do whatever it takes next year. Like I think Miami might be putting their foot on the gas next season.
Okay.
Um,
I agree with you about Miami actually. I will say, but just on I just looked and it's we play the AFC South, so actually that is a little bit easier of a division.
yes,
So that the Raiders might take 1 or 2 from there, but
yeah, Titans
anyways,
are
and
not
then
very good.
they are playing fourth place, and they do have a fourth place schedule. So if anybody is going to do it, it would be the Raiders. The Broncos obviously now have they go from third. I think they were third last year to second
Mhm.
this year. So, but yeah, I can see Miami doing something. I can see honestly, I don't think the Patriots are too far away, but
I mean, they're getting closer
and they
to
have an
some.
easy schedule. So
Yeah,
yeah.
I think they can slip into the playoffs. I think there's a lot of teams that really could have made the playoffs that might strongly make the playoffs next year. I was thinking naked
The
Bengals.
Panthers. The Panthers. I think the Panthers are going to be my team. That's what I'm going to say now. I'm going to say the Panthers.
That's your dark horse team to make the playoffs next year,
Yeah,
man.
I don't think it's too dark horse going in how Bryce Young was playing for towards the end of the year, but um,
It's going to be
it might be he might hit a sophomore slump
yeah,
too. So same thing. Like
this was a sophomore slump.
I thought this was his rookie year.
This is the second
Oh
year.
no,
He
you're
was
right. You're right.
picked
Yeah,
ahead of CJ Stroud.
yeah, 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 yeah.
They're going to be going into their third year.
Yeah, he was playing
I
good
think
towards the
CJ
end of the
Stroud
year.
bounces back next year. By the way,
Do it.
I think CJ Stroud bounces back next year.
Yeah, hopefully. I hope so. I hope honestly for just for his mentals. I hope he. Man. I hope nobody. They
If
don't go
he
through any
like
more.
what? If he posting like sad song lyrics on Twitter or something.
I know. I don't. I just seeing him after like at the end of the year, like after Tank Dell went down, and he was just like it just seemed like he's just like on like really got another one. He's just on the field, just like you know, just like a
I
rough.
mean,
It was a
really,
rough year for him and his friends. I feel like he's
yeah.
really emotional, and he,
Man, Tank
I
Dell might not come back next year.
yeah,
That injury was pretty devastating to his leg, and we may not see the same Tank Dell production that we did his rookie year.
yeah,
This is the second time that he's had a devastating leg injury to end a season. First, it was a broken leg, tibula. Someone fell on him, and this time it was this. I also think that first time was friendly fire because this time was friendly fire too. He was in the end zone, and then I think he had Nico Collins fly in
yeah,
and pull Rice.
yep,
And
yeah. I was gonna say a lot of friendly fire this year.
yeah. No, it wasn't Rasheed. It was Patrick Mahomes. How Rasheed hurt himself. It was Patrick Mahomes injuring Rasheed.
Yeah, no, yeah, it was friendly fire from Mahomes hitting Rasheed Rice. Yeah.
Rasheed was like, Mahomes was like, if
Mahomes
I
threw
don't do this, you
Mahomes threw a
don't get my
pick.
ball.
Mahomes threw a pick, and Rasheed Rice was trying to tackle the guy who intercepted it, and Mahomes went in as well, and like kind of just like shuffled into him, and then Rasheed Rice's like I think or Mahomes went down on him, and Rasheed hit it. I think his knee hit his helmet. Is that
Nice.
what it was?
Yeah.
Screw the
Uh,
NFL. It's gonna be Thunder this year, baby. Yeah, hopefully. I mean, I've been watching a little bit. They played somewhat or the Jazz tonight, I think, and then the Timberwolves twice. But
I do not follow NBA. I wish I did. I know that Thunder are doing well, and we got apparently a pretty young team, so we don't have to. We're going to be looking pretty good for a little bit.
yeah, but this isn't an
Um,
NBA stream.
yeah, this is
Banned.
not an
I'll
NBA
ban him real
thing.
quick. Let me just ban this guy.
Yeah, ban this one.
Let me.
We got to stay on topic. So I
Oh, it
do
won't let me
think
do
some
anything.
teams are real close to getting the playoffs, and I think the Steelers are one of them. I don't know what they're going to do about their quarterback situation. Both of their guys are only on 1 year contracts. I don't know if they're going to resign Fields. I don't know if they're going to resign um, uh, what's his name? Broncos country. Let's ride.
Diggs.
Russell Wilson.
Oh,
Um,
oh, Steelers.
I
Yeah.
don't know if they, I don't know if they resign him. And Aaron Rodgers doesn't have a home right now, and I don't think he's done yet. Do you think Aaron? There's a lot of rumors happening right now of Aaron Rodgers going to LA and LA moving on from Matt Stafford, sending him to New York.
I don't know why you would. Yeah, I don't know why you would move on from Matt Stafford really at all, in my opinion.
I wouldn't. Well, Matt Stafford hasn't been the most
Let him.
healthy the last
No, I
couple
know,
seasons.
but
He
just
was
like let him
just a Super
retire. Like,
Bowl
don't
run. He
send him
hasn't been good.
anywhere. Like, does he still like? Doesn't he want to retire with the team he won a ring with? I don't know.
I
Like,
mean,
I feel like he can't have
does
too
Matt-
many more years in him.
do you think Matt Stafford signs a 1 day contract with Detroit, retires a Lion, or do you think he really just did not like to stay there and he's just going to go out as a Ram?
I bet he does. I bet he would. But I don't know. I'm not sure.
Um, there's other potential landing spots for Aaron Rodgers. There is Cleveland. There is Pittsburgh. Both of them would need a quarterback. Um, I don't know if he would take a backup job anywhere. I doubt he would. I think his ego is a little bit too big for that. Uh, and he's probably going to want to go somewhere that like will really cater to him. That has a lot of cap space that are gonna want to spend it on things that Aaron Rodgers needs and wants.
Yeah.
You know,
No, I don't think
um,
anyone really wants to do that. To be fair.
yeah, I think everybody saw what happened in New York and isn't really wanting to do that. I don't know if Aaron Rodgers will find a team this offseason.
I don't. I don't think he will. But I
I
mean,
don't.
who knows? We'll see. Anybody might be. There's dumb rich people everywhere. So
What if he goes to the Raiders?
hey, that'd be fun. Finally get to see him play Mahomes every time that they were supposed to play. Did they ever end up playing? Maybe I don't know if they did cause no,
I
we
don't
didn't
think
play
so.
the Jets lot this year. So wait, did we? Did we?
I don't think he did play the Jets.
No. And I think last year it was he. I think we did last year, and he was injured.
Hmm.
And then yeah, this year, who won their division this year? Uh, so
Whose division?
the Jets with
The
the
East.
Dolphins
There was Bills.
or Bills? That's right. Did they finish last?
The Jets.
Yeah,
Uh, no, I think the Patriots did worse.
yeah, yeah. He started his career as a backup. It'd be fitting. Yeah, true.
Yeah.
I mean, most of them do though.
What if he goes to the Vikings and he completes the Favre arc?
Yeah,
I mean, the Vikings are another team that are in a really interesting quarterback situation
I don't think that
because
they take Aaron Rodgers.
no, I don't think that they do.
No, I think.
I think what the Vikings, it's already written on the wall, what everybody's expecting is they're just going to move on from Sam Darnold. The experiment, I faltered out there at the end. I remember like a month before those last couple weeks of the regular
Yeah,
season. So like week 13, 14, people were like, what are the Vikings going to do? What are they going to do? Because they have this new young guy they just invested a first round draft pick in and he's hurt. But then the guy that they got in as a stopgap is doing really, really, really well. And then he blew it those last couple of weeks. He dropped that game to the Lions, then dropped another game in the playoffs. And the uh, I think Sam Darnold might be the hottest quarterback on the free agency market. Obviously, I think he's more uh, capable than Aaron Rodgers at this point in
oh
their
yeah, he'll
careers.
he'll he'll find a job for sure. Aaron
He'll
Rodgers is
find a-
questionable. Sam Darnold, if he gets let go from the Vikings, someone will give him he'll start somewhere else, at least for a year, you know.
Mhm. I
There's gonna be
think
yeah.
there's the Raiders, the Steelers, the Browns. Those are all just the teams I already mentioned. Do you think that there's going to be a point that even teams like Seattle, who have a decent enough quarterback in Geno Smith, but he's not the forever option. They already have players like DK Metcalf apparently wanting to leave,
Yeah.
you know,
I
and
think
it's
Seattle's about to hit rebuilding. I don't think that they're gonna sign a contract that Sam Darnold is gonna want to sign.
that's true. They're needing to
Like I know Sam Darnold lost a lot of money in those last two games, but like he's still gonna be, he's still gonna.
he's gonna hit that price tag.
Yeah, I mean he's a quarterback that had a good regular season. Like his agent's gonna be able to get him paid. I don't think he's gonna
Mhm.
get top quarterback money, but like he's
Do
not
you
gonna
think
he's not setting the market or anything.
the Titans have the number one overall pick? Do you think that they are going to go after a Sam Darnold or an Aaron Rodgers, or do you think that they're just going to? This is a very weak quarterback class. I'm sure. I don't know if you've done any sort of research on the incoming draft class. I've done very little. I've just watched a couple mock drafts and read some names. But a lot of people are kind of like, what are the Titans going to do? And in all my years of watching football, usually what teams in these situations do is they either get a quarterback in free agency and use that number one pick elsewhere, or they just go in on a quarterback, which most likely to happen.
Yeah,
Um, do you think the Titans take a swing on any of the veteran quarterbacks, or do you think they go for option B?
I can see the Titans taking a swing on Darnold. Um,
I could see them doing. I could see Darnold in a Titans uniform.
yeah,
I could see him in a Steelers suit uniform too.
yeah.
I think they re-sign Justin
I
Fields
could see
though.
him in
I
a
don't think
Raiders
they're,
uniform too.
yeah. Oh, I could really see him in Raiders. I bet you
Yeah,
anything Sam Darnold
I
goes
bet Pete
to.
Carroll really like Sam Darnold too.
They I mean, Sam Darnold went to USC. Pete Carroll coached there in the 2000s. You know, there's a little bit of a connection there.
Yeah,
Uh, so if the Titans don't get a quarterback, they in free agency, they're obviously definitely going quarterback in the draft. Will Levis is
yeah.
not the answer, but a
Probably
lot of
Cam
people,
Ward.
yeah, people are thinking Cam Ward. He doesn't look like Shador fits their system at all.
No,
You know, and
but I
it
think
doesn't look like they want him.
I haven't watched Shador play a lot. Is he like a real dual threat quarterback? He's
I
short
think
too, isn't
so.
he?
Yeah, he's a little he's taller than Kyler, but he's not like the biggest guy ever.
Let's see.
Um, but Shador sells tickets. He's a big name. He's going to come with Dion, which isn't always the best thing, I don't think, for a franchise. Um, but
Oh
Shador's
yeah,
going to get paid.
he's only 6'2", which I
Yeah.
mean that's
Well,
tall. Like
that's,
for a
that's a pretty
quarterback
normal
though,
size. Yeah.
most
I mean,
quarterbacks I
you
think
know,
on
the
average are
quarterback could be
six.
like 6'4", but
I was gonna say I think the average quarterback size in the NFL is like probably 6'4", 6'5".
uh, Baker is 6 foot. He's our height,
Yeah.
and Kyler Murray's five
Yeah, I was
eleven.
gonna say Baker and Kyler bring it down, but I mean Jalen's like 6'4", isn't he?
He's like 6'3", 6'2". He's not
I don't know.
huge.
I guess he's only 6'1" too.
Oh yeah. So all of our Heisman guys are little guys.
Yeah. I was gonna say Mahomes is 6'2". I guess
How
I
big
don't know.
is
I guess
Caleb?
maybe I'm just
How big is
maybe
Caleb
like
Williams?
maybe Cam Newton and I feel like I know Cam Newton and Josh Allen are big. Like yeah, Cam Newton's 6'5". Uh, I guess maybe it's probably started trending down too.
Caleb Williams is 6'9". Jaden Daniels is 6'4". He's huge,
Yeah.
man. Jaden Daniels ain't that guy's scary.
Average NFL quarterback height has varied over time. Oh, no, okay. Okay, here. This was more thinking, I guess. Yeah, in 2015 it was 6'3", but then it's been going down since. It's 6 foot
Well, because
now.
they've been moving more towards baseball quarterbacks.
Yeah,
And Mahomes is 6'2", little guy,
yeah. He's taller than me. I feel like I'm tall enough.
small guy, little person.
That's
That one.
I guess that's the thing. Yeah, like I think you have to be taller than me to be a quarterback. Kyler Murray is like
Hi,
barely cutting it.
Tyler.
No, obviously
Um,
he's very talented, and regardless of his height, like obviously he's not short. He's 5'10", right? I think like
he's 5'11".
5'11". Yeah, see, that's not short. He's not short by
Mhm.
any means. It's just like NFL, like you know, he's short in the NFL for a quarter. Like, when most of your linemen are probably okay, linemen for sure is probably like average 6'2", 6'3". So,
Mhm.
like, even
Um,
that, like, that's 4 extra inches that you can't see over those guys once they get close. You know what I mean? Like,
but I think he's proven that you don't always need that.
no, he's no.
But
I think Kyler
he sort
Murray's
of
an
bounce to the
exception.
outside if he needs
6 foot
to.
on Tinder, exactly. I think he's the exception. Like he's obviously talented enough, like be, you know, to be that small in that position. Like obviously, like wide receiver or running back, it's not as important. You know.
Um, the other news is the Jaguars got a new GM today,
Mm,
and I kind of feel like the AFC South is a little bit all over the place. Titans are not very good. Texans hit a slide. Colts drafted a quarterback really, really high, and he has not been doing good. Um, Jaguars tend to be trending in the right direction. Mac Jones did really good in that offense while Trevor Lawrence wasn't there.
yeah.
Um, and I think that would be my dark horse to make playoffs next year is going to have to be the Jags. I'm not saying that they're going to knock the Chiefs out
it's,
of
I
the
was gonna say, it's
playoffs,
never gonna happen. Stop trying to make it
but
happen.
I am saying that I do think that they are in a very not super competitive division. If they can get past some of the harder opponents like the Texans and hold them off as far as divisional record, they'll be fine. I think that they could very easily get into the playoffs. Uh, Colts are all fucked up. I don't know what they're gonna do with Anthony Richardson. He got tired. That's what
Yeah.
everybody's gonna remember about him. Is that he got tired.
Man, gosh, what a bad like. I just can't understand as a. I think my thing is I think he must have been injured in some sense, and he just didn't want to say that.
Yes, that's
That's
100% what happened. He was coming off of an injury. He was already hurt, and he was coming off the field. And when pressed about it by reporters, he didn't want to say, "Oh, I re-aggravated that thumb injury again." So he was just like, "I was just tired,"
yeah. Even though
and
that's
not
like so dumb, like
yeah. And it's like, man, that sucks because you know that he just was going to get heat no matter what it was.
Oh yeah, but he'd get less heat if he was
So
just like if he would have just said, "Yeah, I just kind of I was a little bit out of it and I couldn't quite get the play
they
right or something," you know?
wanted to play it safe and not do anything. Yeah.
Yeah, like I just felt
Mm,
something and I just wasn't sure, I didn't want to jeopardize the team by playing at, 40% or whatever. Then people are like, "Oh, okay, yeah," but to say you're tired, like you're getting way more dog for that.
mhm.
Yeah,
The
but
Colts are not. They are. They. It's just. They just have this appearance of wanting to be good, and then it's like because they have Jonathan Taylor and they have a top five draft pick at quarterback, and they have Quentin Nelson on the line. So it's just like, man, it sounds like they're going to be good, and then they're not. So you're just like, what? Do you think that they enter a rebuild in the next few years?
the Colt, I mean, aren't they already?
No, I thought they were in like try to win now mode with re-signing Jonathan Taylor and drafting really high and all this different stuff.
Uh,
You know, are they in a rebuild right now? Because they're acting like it, and I didn't realize it.
yeah, I don't know. I feel like if I don't know what was their record last year and the year before, like I
I
don't know off
think
the
they
top of
missed playoffs both years.
yeah, like they haven't been good. So I just kind of like if you're not good, can you
They
really?
were 8 and 9, second in their division, did not make playoffs.
Yeah.
The AFC South, very mid, very
Yeah,
mid.
and that's what I mean. It's not like a very it's not an awful division and they're not playing from first place record, like the Texans were in the first place record, right? This year. So,
Mhm.
yeah, I don't know. I just they just kind of been ass for a while. So, other than
We've
Jonathan
covered pretty
Taylor.
much all of the AFC teams now. Uh, we covered the AFC early on, said that the Chargers, you think that they're going to Charger it. Broncos could be second in the division, and Raiders might are still in a rebuild. We went through the East, the West, North, and we just finished the South. Um, well, actually, I don't think we talked about the AFC North at all. We just talked about the Browns. Miles Garrett's moving. He's going somewhere.
Yeah, I still
He's
think that
I'm thinking he's going to the Birds, baby.
I still think Bengals still take the take the division. And then
Next year,
yeah,
I think they,
I think
yeah,
Bengals take it. Yeah, I think it goes Bengals, Ravens, Browns, or Steelers, Browns probably. Obviously Miles Garrett's leaving, so I mean Browns have nothing to look forward to, nothing to live for.
they have no hope. It's hopeless in Cleveland, and that is just
But
too bad.
I could see him go to a division. I could see him going somewhere other than the Eagles. But I feel like the Eagles, yeah, it just feels like the type of place that he would go. I agree.
I could see him going to the Ravens. That wouldn't surprise me at
No,
all.
that wouldn't surprise me at all if he went to the Ravens.
Yep.
Yeah,
Um,
I don't think
but
like
Steelers, I
there's
don't think
no
that they're going to do well next year. What?
yeah.
What were you going to say?
Oh, I was gonna say I don't think anybody dogs like when if you're leaving the Browns, like no one's gonna dog you to go for going to a divisional rival, you know?
Yeah,
Like I don't even think Browns fans they'd be like, oh okay, that sucks. You went to the Ravens. Well, I hope you win a ring.
yeah. I think it's a hard place to be in.
Yeah.
Uh, I think the Bengals do a lot better next year than they do this year.
Yep.
I think they invest all the chips in their defense, maybe one or two offensive weapons for Burrow, if they especially if they don't keep T. Higgins.
Yeah.
Um, but it's looking more and more likely that they're going to because salary cap isn't real. We all just like to pretend it exists, but it doesn't.
And with it going up, they haven't announced it, but they're saying it's like 275 to 285
Yeah,
when it was like
they can
254.
afford it.
Yeah, like they're getting an extra almost 20 mil, or
So I think
at
Bengals,
least 20 mil. I mean, 20 to 30 million extra cap space this year. So
yeah, they'll be able to afford it.
yeah,
I think the Steelers regress. I think that they got kind of lucky riding on their defenses last year or this last season, and they ended the season on a 4 game loss streak, including the playoffs. Right? Didn't they make the playoffs?
the Steelers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
They played the
Um,
Texans, or no, they didn't
mm,
play the Texans. They played um
the Ravens,
yeah,
right?
the Ravens. Yeah.
Yeah. So, um, Yeah, I just don't think the Steelers. I just think the AFC North is still kind of up in the air. I do think the Ravens are going to do well next year. I don't know if they're going to win their division.
Yeah,
I think it's just a
I
guy
really
up
think
there.
it's gonna be the Bengals. I don't know. I think that
No, I agree. I just feel like the Bengals didn't get enough recognition for what they tried to do this year, just because they didn't make the playoffs. But they were on a hair's edge, man. They were like
yeah,
right there to get it on a
yeah,
razor's edge.
yeah,
So, um, I think I think the Steelers, I don't know. I just think that they regress. I think Mike Tomlin's era is coming to an end. I think he's like
yeah.
one or two seasons down before the Steelers eventually have to call it. It could happen as soon as this offseason, to be honest with you. But um, you want to hop over to the NFC and
Yeah.
talk about what their offseason needs, what they're going to need.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Uh, all right, we'll do the NFC North. Um, so the Lions. Um, I my hot take about the Lions is they regress really hard next year. They look tired. Like they look like they have really high expectations for themselves, work their asses off for it, and it just they weren't rewarded for it. And the
Yeah.
last time I really saw a team be this tired after doing really well was the 49ers last year. Going into this season, after last season and not winning the Super Bowl and all of this different stuff, and they, all of them are beat up and stuff. They looked exhausted, and I'm feeling that they're all just going to be mentally drained up in
Yeah.
Detroit. I
Think
think
it's gonna be
everybody in
too
San
much for
Francisco
him.
was. Yeah, that it's just they're really trying, and it's just not paying off, and
Yeah.
that could be a real that could really kill your motivation.
The most
Um,
downvotes I've gotten has been talking shit to Lions fans to remind because they're I see them talking shit
mhm,
and I have to tell them that they've never made it to the NFC
the big dance.
Championship game. So that's why I just say
They,
lol no AFC championships
not even a
or
oh
I
man,
mean NFC. I say lol no NFC championships and then they just downvote me.
yeah. Well, yeah, it's
So
true
yeah,
though. You don't get upvotes for being right.
yeah, I'm
Um,
salty.
the Vikings also, but we kind of covered them just about
Yeah,
their
we talked
quarterback
about
situation.
yeah. I mean,
All
I
they
think
need is just
I
a
think their
quarterback.
defense was like went slid towards the end of the year. They were good early.
Mhm.
The Lions fans are some real "this is our year" motherfuckers. Yeah, exactly. Um, yeah, I think their defense slid towards the Vikings slid towards the end of the year. I don't know. I wasn't paying enough attention to really to see why. I don't know.
Yeah,
They probably had some key injuries, I'd assume. Um, I don't know if
on defense, probably.
yeah,
I think what it was is they just couldn't keep bailing out the offense because
yeah,
the offense, Sam Darnold was kind of leaving a lot on the table there at the end. Um,
yeah,
but I think the Vikings definitely come back down to earth a little bit.
yeah.
I
I
don't
mean,
think
but
that I think they wind up like 10-7 or something. Not a bad record, a winning record, but they're not going to be. They may not even make the playoffs.
yeah, I
You
could see
know,
them missing it. Yeah, I could see them missing playoffs, especially if they move on from Darnold and like bring like just draft or what's his name? Their the rookie they drafted.
uh,
Uh, he got
JJ McCarthy.
yeah McCarthy. Yeah, so
I did the NFC North because Josh was watching
yeah,
and he's a Panthers fan, and I was doing it by record, and
yeah,
he's like, "No, just go to the Bears already. You're not gonna do the Packers." I'm like, you know what? Yeah, you're right. So the Bears, I really do think that they are on the cusp of something good, but I don't know. I just think they're in a really tough division, and they have Chiefs problems without all the wins. You
yeah.
know, their offensive line is not very good.
No, he
Um,
didn't. He set the record for sacks or something.
yeah, he got most sacks
Yeah,
by a yeah. It was pretty bad. And their defense wasn't helping much either. At least the Chiefs have a good defense. Bears can't say that much. Uh, so um, there's not a whole lot to say more about the Bears. There's a lot of needs. They don't
yeah.
have.
I mean, we'll see.
They
Yeah,
haven't really put them through.
I remember the beginning of the year. I was like, man, Caleb's not gonna get it done, and he's not gonna be able to do much. And I do think that after the year, I think he has the talent. I still don't know, I still will say that I think his mentals are a little bit, they just look kind of weak. Um, his composure.
He gets
So
cramped easy.
yeah, so we'll see if he can grow a little bit there, and because obviously I think that his athletic abilities, like you could see it. Like he had plays this year where you can tell he's an athlete. He just needs to, obviously, he has ways that he can improve, and you know, uh, give him another year, see how he does. But I still think he's a
I wouldn't
baby.
write him off as a bust.
Yeah,
I
not
don't
yet.
think
No, he's
that.
not a bust yet. I
Uh,
still think he's
man,
a
did people stop chirping about the Bears pretty fast this
yeah.
season. We went into the season thinking
Well,
that they were hearing that they were going to be like the dogs.
yeah, but then Jaden Daniels came. That's really what happened too, is that they moved away from Caleb and started latching on to Jaden Daniels.
Oh man, he was good though.
Yeah.
The
No,
moment the
exactly.
moment that I
Yeah.
knew that Jaden Daniels was going to be a problem with the Hail Mary.
Yeah. Oh man, that was what a play though too. The guy talking shit to the crowd while the play's
Yeah,
going on, turning around, and then being the one to bat the ball into the guy's like you could not have written that like any
yeah,
better.
that's,
Like
that's
I'm
just
so
so
glad
true.
that they put that in the playbook this year.
Mhm.
Man.
All right. Let's go ahead and move on to the NFC East since we're talking about the Commanders. Um, no, let's do Packers.
Okay.
So Packers have a pretty good young offense. I just don't feel like they have really good wide receivers. I think that they could use
I
some
will.
help. And you have Jaden Reed this year. How did he do?
Jaden Reed had big plays, but aside from big plays, like he didn't. Towards the end of the year, he kind of disappeared.
Hmm.
He had some big plays in the beginning of the year, but that's really it was big play. He was really just like had a. He said, "I'm gonna crash out." Yeah, he had a big year, like but not, he had a
Yeah,
good.
it was kind of yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
I think
they
he.
wound up with an 11-6 record.
Yeah.
You know, they had a pretty good
But
defense.
yeah, when Dobbs is kind of your number one guy, I think you kind of got to figure something else out. That Christian Watson, Dobbs, and Jaden Reed isn't like a, you know,
It's not cooking. It's
yeah,
not doing
no,
it.
they're gonna definitely address wide receiver, I think, as they should. I haven't,
Do
you know,
you think that they signed DeAndre Hopkins or like someone else, like maybe a Hollywood Brown, somebody from a winning team, like type deal?
yeah, I,
Or do you think they're going to cash in on a washout like Christian Kirk?
I don't think they'll take. I don't. It's hard to say. Like if you, I think you definitely shoot for a rookie, and then in the draft. But then I think also, yeah, I take D Hop over honestly over Hollywood Brown. I think D Hop showed that he still has it.
Hmm.
I think like he still got good hands, still a great route runner. Obviously, like a smart guy, so he's gonna be able to come in and learn the playbook. You don't have to worry about that. So, but I don't know about Hollywood Brown. I feel like he's been injured, and
Yeah,
so and he's
and he's
just
kind of small. He's a speedster,
yeah, but he's just been
so he's not.
constantly injured. Like he has
Yeah.
a lot of injury problems. He's really injury prone.
Yes.
So,
Wherever he goes, they're going to need to have like padded floors and shit.
yeah.
He's going to go to Miami. Hollywood Brown and Tyreek Tua, and they're going to think that they're going to be cooking up with something, and they're
Yeah, they
just
always do that, don't they? They're just like, let's get some fast guys, and I think that might be
look at
a.
the Raiders.
Do you think that's a Mike McDaniel thing?
Yeah, that might be. He just is just like I just want
He's
speed.
like, you can't teach speed.
Can't teach speed.
Yeah, like he saw Tyreek. That's like he like saw Tyreek doing it, and he was just like, dude, this looks so fucking fun. And he's like, all right.
Yeah, yeah,
He's like, the Chiefs did it
guaranteed.
in 2019. Why won't it work now?
Why won't it work now?
Because everybody's back in the fucking cover three, right?
Oh yeah,
They're
that's
constantly
true.
in.
No,
Yeah,
it's like covered.
or is
Yeah,
it
it's the
covered?
covered or something.
Yeah, whatever it
Whatever.
is. Yeah,
And they were talking two safeties deep because they were
yeah,
talking about banning them
yeah.
this year. And I'm just like, man, you can't ban two safety cover two. That's
You
insanity.
can't ban any sort of formation in the NFL. Like, you know what I mean? Like, when it's like, I think like if you want to put two people on the line and have fucking 15 people in cover, I'm not 15, but you know what I mean. If you want two people on the line and nine people in coverage, like I think that's a legal formation. I'm pretty sure. Like, you
Oh
can't.
yeah, yeah.
I think you have to only have one person. Do you even have to have anybody on the line? Like, technically.
Yeah, you have to have a certain number of people lined up on the line.
I know defensive. I know offensive for sure, but defensive, do you? Maybe one.
Uh, yeah, I think maybe one. The lowest I've ever seen is one.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure.
Um,
I'm not smart enough to know that
all
shit.
right, so
But yeah, so yeah, I think Packers. Yeah, I think they're
that
gonna be
is
fine.
the Falcons. I think they got their run game down with Josh. Oh, sorry, what?
Oh, I was gonna say, I was just agreeing. Yeah, I was gonna say, I think their run game is fine. So they're really probably gonna go after defense and wide receiver. I don't know how their offensive line is right now, but
I'm sure it could use some help. There's going to be, I think, offensive line is going to be very high valued in this draft.
yeah,
I think we're just seeing the rise of speed rushers and holding calls and stuff. So good offensive linemen are hard to come by. Hard to
yeah.
come by. Um, let's move to the NFC West. I only got about 15 minutes left before I got to hop off and start making it.
Okay,
Um, we already covered the Seahawks. You know, they went 10-7. The NFC West was weird this year.
yeah,
There was a period where they were all like 3-4 or 4-3,
yeah,
you know, and it was just like everybody was competing there, and it was just like everybody thought the 49ers were going to take it, and then they just didn't do it. They fell off. They were tired. I mean, damn, the Cardinals had a better record, and I mean, did you watch Cardinal game this year? I didn't.
I did. They kept coming. They had a lot of really close games. I think. Um, I know they had like a stretch where they were like winning, like kind of like they were kind of doing uh what Washington was doing.
Mhm.
Um, like towards the end of the year, like they were kind of like in contention. I think they had like a chance, but then yeah, like they lost. I think this was the game I remember. They lost to the Panthers in overtime on the
Yeah, that's
22nd.
right.
Then they lost by 4 to the Rams. Then they smoked the 49ers in the last game of the season, but I don't think it mattered.
Yeah,
But
that
yes,
one didn't.
I think
And
yeah,
the Rams,
I think they needed to beat the Panthers to like really have a chance to get in, and then they lost that in overtime because they beat the Patriots. And but yeah,
man,
um,
Bryce Young, they were calling him the Carolina Reaper this year because he kept taking people's jobs and he kept, he was. Every time someone would lose to the Panthers, they would get fired.
yeah,
Um, the Rams did really well. They were the divisional winner this last season. They made it to the playoffs. Rumors have it that everybody is just getting old. You know,
yeah,
Sean McVay's been talking about retiring for like 4 seasons now. Matt Stafford, I don't know how much he has left in the tank. He is getting hurt a lot, and you know, a lot of people like to retire when they're on top.
yeah,
Um, and they've got good wide receivers, but Cooper Cup's getting old too. You know, it sounds like they got a good replacement for Aaron Donald and Jared Verse, but I don't know. Do you think a rebuild? Do you think that this is the best the Rams are going to be doing for a couple of years, or do you think they still have some left in the tank?
I think they still have some less in the tank, but yeah, they're. I mean, you still got depending. I don't think they're ever getting rid of Puka. So
Oh, yeah,
if they
they're
get
going to be
a
holding on to him.
yeah, if they get a good quarterback, I mean, right there, that's it. I mean, I think Puka's kind of that guy that if you have him, you can build around him. He's super talented. So, yeah, I think defense, yeah, obviously they're losing like they have Jared Verse, so they got a couple key guys. I think if they draft good they could be doing kind of the same thing where it's like, oh, they just have a really good young team. So, I
Do you
think
think the 49ers can pull it around next year?
I'm a hater, so no.
I don't think they can either. I think they're going to have the drive to, but I still think they're going to miss the playoffs. They might have a winning record, but I think that's as good as it's going to get.
Yeah,
I don't think that they're going back to the Super Bowl. I think that their time for being competitors has just it's come to an end
I agree.
for the time. So
I think they missed it last year.
yeah,
That
I
was
think that was
that was yeah, that was their last kind of that was the window closing.
yeah.
But
All right, let's move to the NFC South. We'll save the NFC East for last. Um, oh goodness, the Buccaneers won the division last year.
yeah, I said I got the
I think
Panthers. I got the Panthers winning the division. I think the Bucks. I think as long as I think Baker's gonna bake. Mike Evans probably just gonna have another 1,000 yard a year. Just casually. I don't know if him and Chris Godwin stay and they're both healthy. They have a pretty good core right there. Um, I know Chris Godwin's getting older, but yeah, I think their defense has been pretty decent. Uh, their yeah points against 385. I mean that's not awful.
yeah,
It's a pretty good defense, so could be better,
I
but
think yeah, I think I think you're right. Goodness. I think Mike Evans, they're just going to run it back next year. Mike Evans, another 1,000 yard a year. I don't know what they're going to do with Godwin. He is getting
yeah,
older. He
he
is
is.
getting
Yeah,
injured. And they don't have a run game.
yeah,
Bucky Irving came in and did really good, but he was more of a surprise than what was expected
yeah,
by Broshan Johnson. So,
yeah. We'll see how they look in the draft after the draft and stuff to see what they kind of what they go for. But like I said, I think the Panthers are gonna win the division. Um, I got Falcons probably last.
so a lot of people think that they're gonna move on from Kirk Cousins and
Yeah.
just eat the money and roll with my Penix Jr. And I can see that. Do you think that they do better? Do you think they have a winning record with Penix Jr. under center all season versus Kirk Cousins?
Probably. I don't know though. Like Kurt's not bad. He's just kind of like a
No,
he's just never that guy. So I mean if Penix could like, has if he's more athletic then absolutely probably if he has more, a little bit just I
I
don't know.
think he might mesh with Bijan's play style a little bit better.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, I think is I hope man, I hope maybe they try and just like if they move on from Kirk and I know they won't move on from Bijan early, but man, I would love for them to move on from Bijan, like to try and get something out of him if they come to the Chiefs. Chiefs
Oh,
could use a
I mean,
Bijan.
if the Falcons just decide, well, that's their main guy, and they just
Oh
saw what
yeah,
happened with New York and
yeah. No one's gonna.
Philadelphia.
They're not
You
gonna
know,
get
they
rid of.
moved
You don't get rid of Bijan. There's no shot. But
him. We kind of covered the Panthers. We think
yeah,
that they're going to do a lot better next season. The Saints, we talked about their new coaching staff. Do you think that they improve next year with Derek
yeah.
Carr under center? It looks like for the foreseeable future.
Oh, they are keeping him. Then no,
It for right. I haven't seen him move yet,
no.
and
If they don't
we'll
move Derek
watch
Carr,
the
no.
Saints.
If they don't move Derek Carr, no. They miss the playoffs. Probably they might improve. They might get 6 or 7 wins,
Do you
but
think there's a chance that they try and move up in the draft to take like Shador or Cam Ward?
probably not. But I think they don't have to take Shador, right?
Maybe not.
Is he still like people are still talking about him just getting drafted super early?
Yeah. Oh yeah. He's top five. People are saying I've seen a few mock drafts where he drops out of the top 10, but I see a lot more of him going
That's
one, two,
crazy.
or three.
Yeah. Hey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not a good quarterback class.
Probably
So a lot of
how they
people
probably wouldn't have to move far up. I mean, they're 5 and 12. What they're probably
usually what happens is there's going to be a handful of quarterbacks that only a few people really know about that are going to do really well at the combine, and that's going to make a lot of people over try and get them, spend more to try and move up and stuff.
so at worst they're
Um,
like seventh, right? What's the Saints pick?
um
I don't. They might.
I'm not sure.
That's fine.
I
We
want
don't got time. We can move on to the NFC. To the
Yeah.
Eagles to the East.
The next would be the NFC East. Divisional winner wound up winning the whole damn thing. That is the Philadelphia Eagles. We covered them a lot tonight. We can move on from them. Commanders, we haven't really
Oh, is this me or you? Oh no, it's you. Is he gone?
talked about. Sure, we've
You're
talked playoffs, got them all the way to the NFC Championship with the Falcons, and I'm not excited about it because I think that the Commanders are going to be playing harder. They're going to
I think
be
you're like your internet's kind of given up.
goes, and that's why changing is because it's supposed to get it.
I think your internet's
Do
given
what?
up. Your internet, I think it's given up a little bit. Oh no.
Oh, am I breaking up? Oh no.
Yeah, you're back. I think you're back a little bit. Yeah, you like kind of.
Hey, there you go.
Yeah,
No, I
you were gone.
my bad. I
You're
was
good.
talking about. Oh, I started trying to load a mock draft simulator, and my computer just was not handling that. Um, so the what I was saying was we're just gonna be dealing with Jaden Daniels for the next 4 years. He pulled that franchise
Sorry.
out of the depths of bullshit and fucking got him to the playoffs, to the NFC Championship. I don't know when the Saints are picking. That's just gonna have to be a mystery for now.
Yeah, it's fine.
Um,
I could have Googled it on my
Cowboys
phone.
are the next big team. I think the Commanders go running back. I think that they are going to be looking for a running back to pair with Jaden Daniels because Eckler and Robinson just really are not doing it. They need someone explosive back there. Um, so I could see them like trading for a big name running back, like maybe an Alvin Kamara or something. Um, but the Cowboys are the next NFC East team, and I don't know what the hell's going to happen in Dallas. I don't really care. I kind of hope it just goes all wrong. I hope they get the number one pick, and I hope they spend it on a defensive end that they don't need, and he winds up being a huge bust. And I'm just kind of hoping nothing but like bad things are happening in Dallas. But if I'm gonna be realistic, um, I just don't know if they're gonna have to hold on to Dak Prescott. They just signed him, so they're committed to that. They just lost Doug Martin to retiring. Their offensive line from 2017 is long gone. They don't really have the guys on it anymore, and they Jerry Jones just runs that place like a goddamn zoo,
Yeah.
and it just sucks. It's just awful for them, and I hate the Cowboys franchise. And I've reached a point where I feel bad for their fans. And before I hated their fans. The fans were the reason I didn't like the franchise. But now that I'm actually like seeing how the franchise is run, I'm just like, damn, this place sucks. This is bad for the sport, you know?
Yeah.
Um, so, but I do think that they're just going to be building on their defense, whatever. I still don't think that they compete. I think they still wind up with a losing record, and I still think that Jerry Jones walks around like he fucking did it, like he's the king, you know, on his yacht. Fuck that guy.
Yeah.
Um, so, and the last team that we're covering today,
The
it would be the
Giants.
New York Giants. Don't have a quarterback.
Nope.
Rumors have it that they're going to be looking for a veteran, that they might not go Rodgers, but they might go Stafford, that they might aim for somebody else to trade for. Um, but they need a quarterback badly. They made a very bad decision this last offseason letting Saquon walk. They should have thrown all the money at him, but I'm happy that they did. Um, the Giants are now the team that I feel for the most. Before it was the Commanders. Before that it was the Browns. I don't feel bad for either of those teams anymore. These days, I feel bad for the Giants.
Yeah.
I think that they deserve a fair shake at things because they're just man, they're just right now they're bitch made, you
Yeah.
know. And it's there's nothing. They're just going to be pushovers. That's two free wins for the Eagles every season for the foreseeable future. But um, their
Uh,
field is going to keep injuring people, and there's nothing we
yeah.
can do about it.
Yeah.
So whatever, man. I think the Giants are going to be. I just don't think that they're going to do well. I think they're going to be right back here again next year. They're just not going to find the pieces this offseason.
I agree. Yeah.
I think if they get Matt Stafford, I am doing whatever I can to get Malik Neighbors in fantasy.
True.
He is like that. He's going to get bombarded by
Yeah.
Matt Stafford.
True.
Um, even Sam Darnold, because that's what Sam did with Justin
Any
Jefferson.
decent quarterback, really. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
So, like, where's Daniel Jones now?
uh, good question.
Um, oh, he's a Viking. That's right. I knew that.
Oh, maybe
Yeah.
that's
But
yeah. Do you think they're moving on? Daniel Jones backup or starter
He's going to be a backup.
to
And if they
McCarthy?
keep him, yeah, to McCarthy. And I think that they're going to be rolling with McCarthy next year because they spent the draft pick on him. They want
Yeah,
him. They want to use him. So yeah,
no reason not to.
but
But
yeah, exactly. They need to see what he does out there. You know, all they've seen is preseason.
you think Daniel Jones starting by the end of the year?
Yeah, I do. Not because McCarthy's doing bad, but I think that they rush him in too quick.
Yeah.
I,
I
yeah,
mean, he
I
just
think
got injured, and yeah, like
he
he
gets
hasn't.
reactivated and just needs to take more time off. And by the end of the season, probably not doing well. And they have Daniel Jones under center trying to pull out a playoff berth, and they just can't get it done.
Oof, wow, you heard it here.
Vikings, no playoffs next year. I'm already discounting you. Um,
But with no Vikings with Daniel Jones behind the helm by the end of
hmm,
the year, that's even
man, if
worse.
you
That's
boy,
worse
if
of
you
a
thought Sam Darnold was a
horrible fate for the Vikings.
you know,
All
kind of
right,
cursed for that. But
well, I'll
all right,
let
well,
you.
I want to get we need to get together and do this again after free agency or during free agency whenever there's all kinds of stuff happening. So,
Yeah,
or if there's like a big trade or something. If
yeah.
there's anything that really shakes up the league, you know. So, but till next time,
All right, man. Well, I'll talk to you. Bye,
bye.
stream.
Bye, Strange.